Hey everyone, I know most of you already from having taught your child or children the last couple of years, but for those of you that I don't know, my name is Alex Drake. I am the Director of Athletics as well as the APUS History teacher this year at RTHS, and it's my duties as Athletic Director that keep me from being here. Tonight we have a home soccer match at Mills Park in Cary against Eastwick Academy, so I cannot be on campus. So I decided to utilize the flipped video concept and talk to you a little bit about what we do in APUS history, how the year is going so far, just kind of big picture stuff. And then you can shoot me an email or schedule an appointment with me if you have any questions beyond that. So here's kind of where we are right now in APUS history. We are wrapping up our second unit. There will be 10 units over the course of the year. In this unit we have covered the French and Indian War, the causes of the American Revolution, Stamp Act, Tea Act, Boston Tea Party, all that stuff. We've covered the American Revolution itself. We didn't go into a lot of details about battles, but we talked about key turning points and causes of the American victory. And we've also talked about the Washington and Adams presidencies and how foreign affairs and circumstances within the United States helped lead to a strengthening of the federal government and set precedents going forward. Our next unit will be about the early 1800s, Jeffersonian democracy, Andrew Jackson, pretty much everything in between, beginnings of American nationalism and then sectionalism leading up to Civil War and all of that. We'll be through the Civil War by Christmas when the midterm hits, and we will get through all of the content of the course by about May 1st. And the exam is on Friday, May the 8th next year, 8 o'clock a.m. So we will definitely have everyone ready by then. This is my 6th year teaching APUS history. I taught it all 5 years that I taught at J.M. Robinson High School down in Cabarrus County. My pass rate, which is a 3 or 4 or a 5 on the exam out of 5, was about 73%. The national average is a little under half. So I've always been fairly pleased with how kids did, but always aspiring to do better and get more and more kids to pass. Our pass rate last year in AP Gov, with kids getting a 3 or higher, was 71%. So kind of right in that wheelhouse. Hoping for that this year. I think our students this year are even better prepared than my kids at Robinson were because most of them have had AP Government. So they are familiar with AP style questions and are just better equipped to handle the content and the complexity and things like that. So I'm really excited about how they're doing so far this year. They've kind of picked up where they left off last year in AP Gov for the most part. Your kids probably cursing me at home for all of the homework and stuff like that, and I don't know what to say other than there's a lot of content in APUS history that we have to get through, and they're going to have to do their bit at home because there's no way we could get through all the content if we just did U.S. history for 50 minutes a day for 140 whatever school days it is leading up to the AP exam. So there is reading every night. We use The Unfinished Nation by Alan Brinkley, which is a really good, concise narrative history of the American experience and American people. And I used this book at Robinson in my old school. I actually used a much earlier version of this book, an earlier edition of it, when I was in APUS history back in 2000, I guess it was. So this book's been around for a while, pretty tried, tested, and it's fairly commonly used. So we utilize that, and the kids reference the book fairly regularly in class too. It's hard to flip APUS history because all the videos would be really, really long and they'd be about every night. So what has been easier in my experience with this class is to go over notes during class time and me lecture and them write things down. That way they can ask questions directly because things are so complex, and I want them to have the opportunity to get clarification from me if there's something they don't totally understand, because a lot of it's pretty tough. That's not to say we don't do anything fun in class. We do play games. We have class discussions. They do group activities. A lot of the stuff they do in all their other classes, but there is a lot more direct teacher instruction in APUSH. So, what else? Writing. Writing is a big part of the AP exam. I guess I can go ahead and go over real quick how the AP exam is set up. It's a new form of test this year. There's a new curriculum framework and a new test. You might have seen stuff in the news about it. It's kind of become politicized, with everyone saying there's a lot of liberal bias in the new curriculum framework. I don't find that to be the case. I'm a reader that goes and grades AP US history exams every year in Louisville, Kentucky. So I consider myself fairly abreast of all the developments there and what went into the new curriculum framework and why they designed it the way they did. And there's really nothing political about it in that way that there wasn't before. So I don't think that's much to worry about. But anyway, there's 55 multiple choice questions that take 55 minutes to complete. All of those questions are now based around some sort of STEM or a primary source, cartoon, whatever. There are 4 short answer questions. Those are new on the exam this year. You have 45 minutes to do 4 short answer questions. Really kind of short answers is just bullet points that the kids have to write. They don't have to write out long expository essays. That's for the second part of the exam, which is the full-blown free response section. There's one document-based question, which is a question based solely around primary sources. They have an hour to do that, 15 minutes to plan it out, and 45 to write it. Then there's a long essay question, which asks them to use some sort of historical thinking skill, causation, change over time, those types of things. And they have 35 minutes to do that one, 5 to plan, 30 to write. So that's how the AP exam is set up, and our tests in class sort of go along the same format, timing, all that kind of stuff. A lot of the kids are not happy with their grades right now, and I kind of understand. There are probably some students who have B's and C's for the first time and haven't really been accustomed to having those kinds of grades before as far as their averages go. All I can say is it's going to get easier, and I keep trying to tell the kids that I've done this for a long time, and I tell them, don't worry about the grade. I say that all the time, and I know that runs counterintuitive to everything they've ever been told before, because they worry about their grades constantly. AP level kids do. They're called teacher pleaser A nerds by somebody I know really well. And I have to tell them to kind of trust the process, that if they work on becoming better readers, better note takers, better historical thinkers, better historians, that the grade is in the end going to take care of itself. And I know they can't see the reward right now, and their averages are a little lower than they want them to be, but over time, I'm convinced they're going to be just fine. So that's about all I have to say about how things are going in APUSH right now. As I said, feel free to email me or track me down at school if you're here after hours or something like that if you want to discuss it any further. Hope you have a good rest of back to school night, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.